To share more about these two new and incredible solutions, I'd like to introduce you to our VP of Product Management at Medallia, Michael Millett.
Thank you, Simonetta. We're now living in an incredibly exciting time where you can't go a day without hearing something new about artificial intelligence. And companies like yours are certainly leaning in. According to Harvard Business Review, nearly half of enterprises are already experimenting with generative AI. But these experiments are not to make images of dogs and cats that are more cute. Come on, they're cute enough already, right? No, businesses like you are looking for ways to unlock new levels of sustainable growth through better, more personalized experiences, just with a lot more efficiency. And artificial intelligence can help, as it recognizes patterns, automates workflows, and even generates content dynamically. But technology alone isn't the answer, because who sees the patterns? Who makes the decision to automate or not for each use case? And who decides what's about to be sent is personalized enough? This is why, at Medallia, we believe the greatest opportunity to achieve both costs and growth with artificial intelligence is through activating your employees. Embedded dynamic intelligence created on demand will make the complex simple, the simple automated, and the impossible possible, all to benefit your customers. Now that's a lot of promise, so I'd love to show you how this works. Let's peek behind the scenes at Walmart, a large national retail store with grocery, clothing, home, electronics, and more. They're known for a few things: quality items, friendly prices and services, and innovative customer experience solutions. And we're going to experience the world from the life of Julian, the VP of Store Operations. Julian's preparing for the quarterly meeting with his regional lead and their store managers team in the Northeast. Now, as part of their recent business move, Walmart just launched a new in-store brand product with special promotions online and by mail, end-of-aisle product placement, and even mobile app marketing notifications, because a lot of shoppers use it for in-store navigation and checking their shopping lists. And Julian wants to let the team know how the product launch went from the customer perspective, and if there are any operational actions to take. Now, normally, Julian would engage the insights team, but their plate is full. And Julian wants to build confidence in his team that they can all find insights too, which would lead to even faster outcomes for their locations. So Julian starts on the dashboard that any of his Northeast managers would see. He checks the focus areas, powered by text analytics, to see if there are enough people talking about product pricing or product satisfaction, areas that have been concerns in the past, so they would typically appear in this report. But there's nothing there about product at all, which is a surprise since he's seen positive sales data that suggests customers should be talking about the product. Which is when Julian remembers there's new reporting available to all operational teams, exactly for this situation. This reporting is so adaptive, it'll highlight what is recently being talked about, even if it's happening right now. It's Medallia's new themes enhanced with generative AI. Checking for recent comments in the last week, now Julian begins to see that there are actually a few themes around products, like customer services is not knowledgeable, and new product is great. But there's one that has the highest volume and share of negative sentiment. Can't find new product at the end of the aisle, which is way more specific than usual. And after drilling into the theme, the story immediately becomes clear to him that when he sees comments that highlight the product has actually been moved from its original location. Now, this has clearly caused widespread confusion and frustration amongst both customers and employees. Of course, it's common to move products after promotions end. But it's clear that in this case, the timing of the move could have been better, since customers are loving it so much. Well, now Julian wants to make sure that he and his leaders are prioritizing the most important next best action here, based on what customers need the most. So he checks the emerging themes report. There, he sees can't find new product has the highest negative impact of the overall customer experience right now of all recently flagged themes. And the sentiment is trending negative. So he's convinced the situation would only get worse if action isn't taken swiftly. And just to make sure he hasn't missed anything that he and his team should be able to see, Julian hovers over the theme to see a summary produced by generative AI. Not only does it simply summarize everything he already knew, but there is an additional sub-theme highlighted. The mobile app navigation is wrong too. Well, for Julian, his recommended action plan for the Northeast is now very clear. He's going to recommend moving the product back to its end-of-aisle location for a few more weeks, improving store signage and training around the product launch, coordinating with the digital team to update in-store mobile app navigation so they can find the product. And he'll even recommend a push notification mobile campaign to inform shoppers before their next trip where to find the product, to keep both future and past purchasers happy, because he knows promoters spend more and refer new customers too. Julian now has everything he needs to enable his Northeast team to see what he's seeing, so they'll be confident in immediately prioritizing action, not only for this opportunity, but for the next one as well. Using new machine learning techniques and generative AI, themes will discover more granular and daily emerging patterns explained concisely with summarizations for mass adoption and engagement for all your users. Also with our enhancements, we'll enable new track and trend reporting to determine if experiences are repeating and eventually improving due to actions taken by your organization. We'll even enable text analytics administrators and insight users alike to easily create a topic from a theme, ensuring that consistent insights around any issue or opportunity are generated for the long term. And now employees from the corporate office all the way down to the front line can begin to confidently leverage the power of thematic analysis across any experience text data, like the sources in Julian's story, or others, like social, voice, chats, and more. So that's themes, now with generative AI. Now, we all know data analysis can still be intimidating for the average employee. It's not always self-explanatory what the data is, where it came from, or even what it means, and, of course, what to do about it. And this is all assuming they even saw the data in the first place. Complicating the situation are the varied types of data that we now need to understand to deliver personalized experiences in 2024, from activities, behaviors, ideas, customer intents, preferences, and actions. And gathering all of this information together in one location is hard enough. Analyzing it takes time, training, and people resources that many organizations no longer have enough time of. But what if there was an easier way to centralize and deliver this data, intelligence, and enablement for all employees? For that, let's turn back to Julian and Allmart. Julian is now investigating the overall business health of the Northeast region ahead of the meeting. He notices that store satisfaction is down recently compared to the past 3 months. Since there have been a lot of changes recently between product launches, technology updates, and staffing, there is any number of potential reasons for the drop in scores, so he doesn't know where to look next. Luckily, Julian remembers that the Insights team enabled the organization with a new AI assistant that gives on-demand answers to questions from any employee, from leadership all the way down to the front line. It's called Ask Athena, and it's fueled by generative AI. So, Julian seamlessly toggles over to Ask Athena and asks that very natural starting question. Why are Northeast scores down in the last 3 months? Knowing that the solution will find the right answer across all of Allmart's entire experience program using generative AI, no matter what the data looks like, where it's stored, and it's even going to check Julian's permissions to provide the right level of data and type of data as part of that answer. And once Ask Athena is done preparing, Julian sees a simple summary generated at the top that illuminates the problem area: severely declining scores in checkout satisfaction. And from the chart and supporting detail, he can see that this started as an issue in December and continued through January. Now, checkout has always been a problem for some reason or another for Allmart, but there's been a heavy emphasis on improvement there. So he's surprised about the recent sharp decline. Once again, Julian asked the key question: why are checkout scores down? Since this isn't the first question in the chat, he gets straight to the point. No need to say Northeast, stores, or even mention a time period. Ask Athena remembers what Julian asked about last, saving itself and Julian time in the process. And this time, Julian sees Ask Athena went in a different direction with the answer and found a treasure trove of related experience comments from those who shopped at various locations and provided feedback through either the in-store or digital channel programs. Ask Athena shares that the negative experiences are actually a result of the launch of the Buy Now, Pay Later payment checkout option, which is something that Allmart recently launched in-store and online to provide flexibility to customers for the recent holiday season. And when he digs into the comments, he sees there's actually more than one root cause behind score declines, which certainly explains to him why scores decline so much. Signing up for the option while physically present in the store, for the first time, it's too complex. Employees, they're not fully enabled to guide customers through the screens. And customers are attempting to use this option at self-checkout, which is slowing down all the other customers. Well, at this point, Julian has several recommendations for his Northeast team, like refreshed training, a dedicated point of sale for this payment option, and even adding staffing during busy checkout hours. But he needs to check one more thing before he acts: the importance of solving this issue for the business. So he asks, guess who? Athena. And knowing that Julian is a senior leader with access to data across locations and online and offline sales, Ask Athena gets to work on preparing him a detailed financial analysis of transactional data. And while Julian is given that detailed data table, he doesn't even need to look at it to understand what's going on, thanks to the generative AI summary, which confirmed what he suspected. By now, pay later customers spend more on average, especially in the Northeast, where it's expensive to live. I should know, that's where I'm from. Northeast transactions, though, for this payment option, are much lower than the average store across the United States, by about 35,000 monthly transactions, in fact. Which would mean if action is taken so that each Northeast store just got closer to the average amount of transactions seen for this transaction type in other stores, gross sales could increase by $6 million for each store. Well, now at the offsite, Julian is ready to share the complete picture of how they can raise overall store performance by improving the customer checkout experience, which he can do quite easily from Medallia's mobile application, which has his past conversational history so he can access any insights he needs on the go. I'm proud to announce Ask Athena, our solution that leverages AI assistance to enable employees to answer their most pressing questions with on-demand and relevant answers. With Ask Athena, any user of Medallia can feel empowered to be their own data investigator without any advanced training, using their own natural language. Ask Athena even solves for the data and program silos that naturally develop over time, leveraging APIs to retrieve that information from wherever it is, whether it's within or integrated to the Medallia ecosystem, while respecting user permissions, of course. And users will be shown an actionable summary and supporting visualization, whether on desktop or on mobile. And while Ask Athena will always have some pre-built assistance to leverage for faster implementation and time to value for your organization, like the ones we shared today, imagine with me a day in the not-too-distant future where you could build your own AI assistants to answer questions in specific ways with your resources, all specific for just your company. That's right. Like OpenAI, Salesforce, Google, and many more, Medallia is launching our own no-code, low-code studio application where services teams, partners, and you, our customers, can create, test, deploy, and manage your own experience-oriented AI assistants on the Medallia ecosystem. These AI launches will unlock a new level of creativity and productivity for your employees, and in turn, new levels of efficiency, cost savings, and sustainable growth for your organization. Themes will enable true emerging trends to be discovered, summarized, and structured in a way to drive faster business change and experience delivery. And Ask Athena will enable any employee to feel confident with the most on-demand actionable trends, root causes, opportunities, suggestions, and even next best action recommendations. And remember, with all of this embedded intelligence assisting your employees every step of the way, Medallia will make the complex simple, the simple automated, and the impossible possible. Thank you very much.